Yeah. Yo, if you're just coming in the chat, like I said, I'm talking to the boy the OG Sivion out here. We're going to talk a little bit about his album.
What's up, Lori?
Dark Side of the
Lori
Cocoon.
King in the house.
And if you got some questions, please go ahead, write them in the chat. I will definitely ask them while we're right here. All right, so let's talk about your project, Dark Side of the Cocoon, man. It's produced solely by Sebastian Hochstein. And how did you two come together to create that magic?
So I miss you too, Lori. So like Sebastian, he's part of a group called Scribbling Idiots, actually, with Theory Has It, the homie. So, but yeah, so we've worked on some stuff in the past. I think we did a song back in like 2010 or something. It was a really dope beat. I really dig his production. I think he's from Germany but lives in France now. But just a really dope, overseas producer. Just a real digger. Kind of like them cats in the UK that be digging hard. So I mean, just really dope producer. So like we just got to chopping it up, I think on Facebook Messenger or something or whatever. And he started sending me beats and I was just like, yo, these beats are just like, they're grimy, but they have like, it's almost like all the beats on that record. It's like it's almost like, like a rainy day. It's like storming and there's like clouds and it's just like the sky is gray in a mug. And then all of a sudden, like around the chorus portion, there would just be like this break in the clouds. And like all of a sudden it's like the sun shining. And it's like, it was the weirdest thing ever because most people, they make a beat and it's like grimy all the way through. And then the next, beat is like sunshine all the way through. But his beats were like both. And it was like so perfect because I was going through some really hard stuff in my life at the time. And it was like, which is part of the reason, for the title, Dark Side of the Cocoon. But these beats were perfect for like, I was coming out of a dark period and it was like these dark beats, sunshine, so it was like I could put both into that record versus it just being a doom and gloom record of Sivion being depressed about his personal situation at the time, so.
Definitely, man. What's your favorite album off of that record? What's your favorite record off of that album?
So I think my favorite joint, my favorite song is Pendulum. I think that's the one that like, there's a lot of times it's funny, I make music and I feel like I'm making music for others, but every record that I've ever made, there's like always one song that just speaks to me. And every time I hear it, it just speaks back to me and it just reminds me of like God's goodness or whatever. So that's Pendulum. That's the joint on that record that just grabs me every time I hear it.
Yeah, I definitely dig that joint alone, man. I really like the production on it. I like the verbals and everything that's on it. I thought it was pretty dope. And that joint Darkness is pretty high too, man. I seen the video for it. Y'all shot it in the dark. It looked pretty cool. I was like, man, that's what's up right there. Those are probably my two favorite joints off of that, man. Yeah. I mean, you put your heart and soul. You made it like crazy personal, man. So, is there anything that you would like to share about that specific album that just touched you?
Yeah, I'm an open book. I mean, what's up, Katie? Seeing some family up in here. People know, back in 2013, me and my wife went through a pretty rough patch and we got divorced. But 2014, praise God, we got remarried. So this record like really speaks to that situation, just the thought of like, and I don't take it for granted one bit because I got homies who are divorced and they got the clouds and they didn't get the sunshine part that I got, but I know God's blessing them in other ways. But for me, this one, and that you mentioned Alone, that's a dope track because that's like when I talk about the clouds and then the sunshine, like that track, like 100%, like that's the epitome of that whole idea. Right. Sebastian nailed it on that. But yeah, this whole record is just about the emotions and different things that I felt during that time, and it's funny because if you look back at like my other records, Butterfly Sessions and Spring of the Songbird, like, people always are like, Sivion's a positive rapper. He's always happy. He's always got like joy in his heart. He's always like, he don't ever get depressed, does he? And it's like, I wouldn't say that I was depressed during that time, but it was hard for me because, I knew, looking back, that was, like me and my wife needed that. I mean, as crazy as it sounds, like that had to happen for us to get to where we are right now, which is so much better. And so I just wanted to capture all of that on the record, and even in a couple of songs, like it actually talks about kind of the flip of that whole situation. So I think the song is All In, where I talk about my relationship with my wife, and at the end it's like it's dark, and then all of a sudden it just the sun comes up, and it's like this is what my story looked like, but this is not how it ended. So praise God.
Well, I know people can really, really appreciate your honesty and openness about it, because we're living in a time where music is so much about bravado and about ego and whatnot, and to have someone to be able to humble themselves and to be able to be open and honest on wax, man, it's refreshing. It's definitely refreshing.
And honestly, I think that's the difference, right? When you were asking me earlier, like what makes my music different or whatever, what helps my stuff stand out. It's like, I don't, I'm giving it to you face value, like it is. The same Siv you hear on a record is the same Siv you're going to see at the, Final Fridays in Dallas, or insert concert venue or church or whatever. It's the same dude, and I think even in the mainstream, I think one of the things that draws people to big artists is when they have their fame and all that kind of stuff, but when they start doing stuff that brings you into their environment, into their home, into their life, and you get glimpses of the inside look at what's going on in their world. It's like people start being able to connect, and they like, yo, I have that same issue. I'm dealing with that. I got that same challenge or whatever. Or, bro, yesterday I was thinking that same thing. It's like all of a sudden now you're like, you're connected with that person, that you have something in common. And that's kind of what I try to do on my music, is just give them something. And it's not even conscious. It's not like I'm like, this song, I'm going to make sure I tell them about it. It's just like, that's just what comes out. So it's, which is a blessing to be open enough to share like that. So.
Hey man, that is a wonderful thing, man. And it's because you got a beautiful soul, brother. And we appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that.
Same so back at you, homie.
So if Dark Side of the Cocoon kind of showed a little bit of the darkness and then transitioned into the light, and now you got a record called I'm Good, which is getting a whole bunch of notoriety out there. Loving that record. Like I said, my man Pumpkin Patch just trying to figure out where the sample came from. Dope song, man. Dope song. What's the connection between Dark Side of the Cocoon and your new joint called I'm Good? So
I think, it's funny how, people that when you follow an artist, you follow their life at the cadence of their releases, because a lot of, artists share, their life in their music. And it's like, so even though, the divorce and all in a reconciliation and all that stuff happened back in like 2013, 14, etc., the record didn't drop until 2017. So it's like, my internal closest homies, Deep Space Five Brothers, etc., like they know, what's going on in my life. But my fans and the other followers that just see me from a distance, they didn't know what's going on. They're just like, 2017, man, Sivion's he got this dark thing going on. Like, you good, bro? You good? So it's like people were checking on me and stuff. And it's like this song, I'm Good, was like kind of a letter to everybody to just let them know, yes, I'm good. It's, I was in a tough time, that kind of spawned that record, Dark Side of the Cocoon. But yeah, I've come out of that. I'm good. Here's all the reasons why I'm good. and also some raps, some internal rhyme schemes and all that fun stuff, get some, some of that good stuff going on in the raps and just have fun with it. That beat that Tee-Wyla came up with was just bananas. And come to find out that beat's like 10 years old. Like he lost it. Like it was like a beat that just like got lost on his hard drive somewhere, and then he found it and he sent it to me. And I was like, yes, this is the one. And then he didn't. A funny story about it. He didn't even have the stems to separate it out and get like the real big mix on it. Like it was just like a MP3 or something. And I was like, okay, so this song is too dope not to find a way to make that work. So then, Imperial, who's a producer out of the UK, maybe Pumpkin Patch knows him. He's also a DJ, and he was like, well, let me try my hand at mixing it, and let me see what I can come up with. I'll do some DJ tricks or whatever and just try to build it back up. And so then what he, you guys have heard what he did. Like he resurrected that whole joint to where it just sounded super relevant, super current, kind of lo-fi. Like he just leaned into the whole lo-fi vibe with the track, and mixed the vocals dope, added some scratches at the end, and we came up with a nice little 2-minute, playlist ready type of joint. All these playlisters love these short songs, so it's like doing great just because it's short and it's fiery, and shoot a bunch of darts and then go. So
yeah, that's the one thing that kind of like had me just a little bit upset about that record, because I mean, granted, don't get me wrong, you got songs like Paid in Full, right? A one verse record.
One verse.
Rakim got on, did his thing, no hook, no nothing. So when I heard I'm Good, I was like, yo, I like that vibe, but it's too short, man. Like I'm listening to it and I was just like, come on, man. You could have gave me a little bit more. But I'll tell you this much, it did its job. It definitely did its job.
Right.
Great record. I mean, the rhyme patterns, the schemes, the way that your voice fell right into the pocket of the grooves, the sample, everything on that record was just phenomenal, man. So definitely, man, my hat goes off to you for that, brother. Definitely.
Appreciate that.